Welcome to the inaugural 2024-25 edition of the LL Basketball Roundtable, brought to you, the signage around me indicates, by Student Transportation of America.
All right.
My name is Mike Gross, and I'll be hosting. To my left is Jason Guarente, who covers boys basketball for LNPLancasterOnline.com, and to my right is Jeffrey Reinhardt, same deal for the girls basketball. We're just starting. Most teams have played a few games. We're not really into league play yet, but we've seen some things, and some of them are interesting.
Some of them are interesting.
Share some of those things with the vast viewing audience.
Okay, let's start with Lancaster Catholic. And I forgot, I was so into LS football into December. Lancaster Catholic won the state championship in March, oh, by the way.
You didn't forget
I
that.
know. Completely different team.
Right.
No Bolesky, no Kraft, no Lipsum shooting threes in the corner. Different looking Catholic team. Carly Anderson's back. She had 21 the other night. She can really shoot and run. Bad news, Stella Higgins, their glue kid last year, her junior year, glue kid. She hurt her knee, so she's still out. She's probably not going to play until January, at least January. Different looking Catholic team. They defend, they grind. They don't get out and run and beat you in transition anymore. It is possession by possession. Maybe Anderson will have the eventual run out, but they really defend you.
It's kind of like we talked about with several football teams. The traditional powers, really good last year. They have some holes to fill.
Yep.
LS did so in spectacular fashion
they
in football. We'll
Catholic's
see
the
about
same
Lancaster
way.
Catholic.
And they defend and they grind, and they've won 3 in a row here at midweek. And I talked to Dat Saturday, and he said, I love this team. He said, we're going to miss those kids, but he said, these kids defend, they go after it. And that's how we're going to play this year. So different Catholic team, but
well,
it's December.
Speaking as a person who's had back trouble lately, I sympathize with Charlie. I hope he's having fun. And
yes, he's better. He's better.
That's good.
He's better.
All right, Jason, you're out there a little bit so far.
A little bit. Well, I think the two most impressive teams are the two teams that played in last year's league championship. Cedar Crest, the defending LL champ and Section 1 champ, beat Exeter at Exeter in the City of Basketball Love warm-up tournament, and then beat Chester, which is
interesting.
Maybe not Chester of old, but still a brand name. Yep. And there aren't a lot of LL teams knocking off Chester in non-league games.
Correct.
So that was eye-opening. And the other one is Warwick, which has won 5 in a row to start. And Warwick has the big 3 with Caleb Johnson, who's a 4-year varsity guy, 1,000-point scorer, Your Majesty Washington, who defends in the paint. In the LL, there are no real big power forward types for the most part, and he just takes everything near the rim away. And then they have Parker Horst, who's their new starting point guard, and they look like, they have the tools to get back to the league final. They're the two most impressive. If we go to a notch below, I would say Lancaster Mennonite, which is 3-0, beat Westchester Henderson, beat Haverford, big schools, and beat Halifax, which was in last year's district final.
Yeah, they were.
This Mennonite team will make a PIAA run because they're all juniors. They got 2 cracks at it, and they're just getting better and better.
Interesting.
Saw Warwick last night against the Cedars. And the Cedars are something of a story because, as we know, they went 2 complete years without a win. And they're now 3-2. They had won 3 in a row before last night. Now, Warwick put on a very impressive show and shot the heck out of the ball. So that ended up kind of being a blowout. And I agree with what you said, Jason. I like Warwick's pieces, and they have the opportunity to, I think, play for a while after the season, after the regular season. And the Cedars are much better. And their best player is a freshman, a kid named Derek Franco. Didn't really score last night and didn't really play a lot of minutes last night, but they're much better. And Chris Christensen, after the game, the Warwick coach, said, the coach of the year is not always the guy that wins the most games. He was praising Lebanon. And, so that is a pretty interesting turnaround that's happened, if it is a turnaround. And you look at their schedule, and I think they have an opportunity to win some more games. So that was kind of good to see, I thought.
Absolutely. Yeah, losing streaks are no fun. They hadn't won in, 2 years?
2 years plus.
Full
and
seasons?
Same thing in football, So it's good to see them have a little bit.
Break them up. Cedar Girls? Pretty good start. They're
Yeah.
they're 2-1. Lost to Perkiomen Valley out of District 1, and they're loaded.
Which they did last year, too.
They did, and they have a couple of D1 kids that are legit. But they've come back a couple wins in a row. Correa's gone for 20 plus already in 3 games. Lebanon will be fine in Section 1. Township's undefeated with athletes. Not a lot of basketball players at Township. They have kids who play other sports. Sanaya Robinson, remember the name, freshman. She had 25 the other night. She can really play. Let's mention Northern Lebanon, also undefeated. They're going to give Catholic a run for their money in Section 3. Olivia Shutter got her 1,000th point on Saturday. She's really good. Let's mention Pequay Valley. They're 4-0, 5-0 with everybody back. I put them as the Section 4 favorites. Janae Patterson has been unbelievable. She had 29, she had 26, she had 25. She's a junior, and she's coming up on 1,000 here soon.
25-ish.
She's over 20 a game so far. Anvil Cleona also undefeated.
Right, yeah.
Dutchmen are like 4-0. They won their tip tournament. They're playing really well.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's that new branding.
The new branding
That's
at
what's
Anvil.
got 'em.
I noticed that.
Right.
Yes,
They're not
big
little
on the new
anymore.
branding.
in Anvil.
Yeah.
Jason, couple of teams that are noteworthy, I think, coming out of the gate. Ephrata
Yeah, I
and
thought
Conestoga Valley. What do you
Ephrata, 6 of their top 7 players back.
Right.
They've been that 13-9, 12-10-ish kind of team, and they think they can go into the upper teens and wins, make the league playoffs, which they haven't done for 6 or 7 years now. Cooper Trusky is coming up on the all-time record for the school in 3-pointers made. He's a double-digit scorer. Marcus Harden is sort of their guy who can create his own points off the dribble. Still undefeated, 4-0. I mean, this is their year. They're all seniors. They've been building toward this.
Nice.
I mean, I wrote in the headline, it's now or never for them. And the other team is Conestoga Valley, who I saw last night. They have a freshman named Demir Salisbury, who is the son of Dustin Salisbury, McCaskey all-time great, who played at Temple, played overseas professionally, averaging 23 points a game through 4 games.
As a freshman.
As a freshman, 6'1" guard. Plays above the rim. He blocked a shot. He pinned a shot on the backboard. He dribbled through the entire press for a layup.
Wow.
He's a great passer. He runs the point, but he's not a kid who shoots like you would think a kid who has that scoring total would shoot. He's not a gunner. Like, he passes the ball around. He plays the right way. And they have Sawyer Espenshade, who's a kid on a 1,000-point trajectory, who's a junior. And they have Grayson Fisher, who hasn't played for 2 years because of a knee injury. You add him, they have Toby Schaub and Cameron Bear. I mean, that's a good starting 5. I think they'll be there with Ephrata in the fight for a playoff spot, with Warwick as obviously the top team in the section.
How old Salisbury?
Salisbury was born in 2010. He is 14 years old, which is hard to believe. He plays like a senior, though.
Well, one thing I've learned
Wow.
today is I'm going to go see Conestoga Valley play soon.
Yeah, me
because
too.
This
Wow.
kid sounds like he's the future and maybe even the present.
Yeah.
All right, so what, in the next few days, what is there to watch, games to watch, what to look forward to?
Thursday, I'm going to go to Northern Lebanon, check the Vikings again. Like I said, undefeated. They play Manheim Central. Barons had their first loss the other night, but they're new in Section 3.
They're pretty good.
I'm anxious to see where they kind of fit in with Northern Lebanon, with Lancaster Catholic. I saw Elko. They're decent. They have a lot of good kids back. Friday, I'm going to check out Manheim Township. Anxious to see the Blue Streaks. They're undefeated. Saturday is the E-Town Showdown at Thompson Gym. Central Dolphins there. Loyal Sock is there. Holy Redeemer's there. Cedar Crest is there. Lancaster Catholic is there. They play Trinity. And Trinity's off to a good start, so that'll be an interesting game. So I'm trying to see as many teams early on here as I can. Good start with girls hoops. A lot of undefeated teams and some teams playing really well here in December.
Jason, forthcoming.
Well, we're taping on Wednesday. Mennonite and Country Day play tonight.
Oh, that's a good one.
Section 4 rivals. They both could end up being district champs. Country Day in 1A, Mennonite
And Country
in
Day
3A.
is a team that has a chance to play in March, right?
Yeah, they are the best Class 1A team with returning talent, clearly, because Linville Hill has moved up to Class 2A. Country Day doesn't have its point guard right now. Jerry Ulican is out until January-ish, so they're not at full strength. But I expect Mennonite to maybe be a notch above that section, but we could have district champs in 3A, 2A, and 1A for the second straight year with Linville, Mennonite,
Right, yeah, that's
and
right.
Country Day sweeping. They're all top contenders. Section 1 is after Cedar Crest. It's kind of a we don't really
Although
know.
Penn Manor's been winning games.
Penn Manor's
Yeah.
3-0, and I think Townships are going to be pretty good, and I think they're going to duke it out for that spot in the playoffs, and they play on Thursday, so we'll get our first idea there. And Michael Lauer has been lighting it up. He's going to be a 1,000-point scorer for Penn Manor. He's their #1 guy now with Ethan Benny graduated. And then on Friday, it's Cedar Crest against Hempfield. We haven't mentioned Hempfield. They have no seniors who saw significant time last year. They're all juniors. So this feels like the year before the year for them. But
I think that's right.
But you never know with Hempfield. I mean, Danny Walk's going to coach them up, and they find a way to win games you don't think they can win. So they could be in that picture for the second place, third place spot there too.
You mentioned Linville boys, Linville girls. I've seen them twice already. Undefeated, great start for them. They're going to be ridiculously good in single A again.
Linville Hill, a school we never heard of until about 3
Until
years
like
ago.
3 years
and
ago.
We've talked about endlessly since then for obvious reasons.
Yeah, Desiree Smucker will get 1,000 soon. She's at 900 plus for the Warriors.
Okay, that's a taste of it, guys. We're a few games in. We're going to start getting into league races here directly. But that's it for sort of an introduction to basketball in 24-25. And this has been the LL Basketball Roundtable, brought to you by Student Transportation of America. For Jason and for Jeff and for Mike, we'll see you again soon.